Sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel, sometimes I feel like Superman lost on a low.
Welcome to Professor Hogchoker's deep dive into literary rock and pop, Episode 2, Stick Season by Noah Kahan. You are listening to Professor Hogchoker's deep dive into classic pop and rock music, looking for the literary elements. You're listening to
Sometimes I feel like Superman
by Hogchoker, as we can't afford the rights to the wonderful Stick Season by Noah Kahan, which we are discussing today. Not many people realise that Noah Kahan has very cleverly taken Homer's Odyssey, the ancient poem of Odysseus travelling back from the Battle of Troy, and used that as the basis for this song. It has been used before. Of course, James Joyce's Ulysses takes exactly the same form while following One Day in Dublin. But this is the first time, I think, that the protagonist, although he sings it as a man, is actually Penelope, Odysseus' wife, who is sitting waiting for her husband to come home for 10 long years. So, as you promised me that I was more than all the miles combined, you must have had a change of heart, like halfway through the drive. She thinks he's on his way home now that Troy has been defeated. Of course, what happens is he upsets Poseidon by blinding his son, the Cyclops, and during the next 10 years has many, many barriers put in his way. The idea that he trailed off halfway through the drive with a change of heart is how Penelope must have felt, waiting for Odysseus to come home. So it's her who's stuck between my anger and the blame I cannot face. She's also scared for her husband at sea, terrified of the weather, and rightly enough, all of Odysseus' crew are killed in various storms and the various adventures that happen. So he's right to be terrified of it raining, which does foreshadow the storms and the death of his crew. The memories that smoking weed does not replace is an obvious link to Odysseus being drugged by the nymph Circe on her island, Io. He has an affair with her. We now get on to the title. It's the season of the sticks. Now, many people have said that in Vermont, this is the time between fall and winter when all of the trees are completely bare and you just see them as bare sticks. Of course, Noah has a different meaning. He also is linking it to the river Styx, the river you cross in the underworld because of the fear of Odysseus being dead. Noah does say, I saw your mum. She forgot that I exist. Odysseus' mum, of course, is Anticlea, who did not have very much time for Penelope. Drink alcohol until my friends come home for Christmas. This is a reference to Odysseus' palace being taken over by 108 suitors who are all chasing for Penelope's hands. These are the people coming in for Christmas, drinking alcohol, but of course, Penelope stayed strong. Penelope stayed very true. In all of the pictures of Penelope, she is shown as this virtuous woman with her legs crossed, slowly weaving a tapestry. I like to play the victim, says Noah. Penelope, of course, was the victim in grieving for her husband, but also feeling the guilt in claiming she will marry someone new when she finishes her tapestry, which, of course, every night she gets up to unpick. This is another link to Season of the Sticks. The sticks are, of course, her crocheting sticks for making the tapestry, which she then unpicks. We have very similar words with stitch, picks, and sticks. And I'll dream every night of some version of you. This, of course, is Cat. Can you move out of the way? Off you go. cat. This is, of course, where was I? This is, of course, referencing Ulysses, many different versions of himself, as he goes through the 10 years of travelling, starting as the brave warrior who's led the attack on Troy, ending as a solo vagabond by the time he arrives back in Ithaca. Oh, back to the line about you kept driving straight, left our future to the right. Geographically, if you look at coming back from Troy, ending up, as he did, over to the right is Ithaca. We also have this wonderful symbol of travel. This is all she remembers of him. Now your tire tracks and one pair of shoes. We've got that great alliteration of tire tracks. And I'm split in half, but that'll have to do. Half of her is waiting for him, trying not to grieve. The other half, she's fighting off all of these suitors. Of course, this was the days before mobile phones in ancient Greece. You once called me forever, now you can't call me back. Of course he can't call her back. He's on this boat, shipwrecked in various islands, being attacked by various nymphs and sorceresses and cyclopses. But he's trying to get back to you, love. Now, if you look at the song, you'll see there are 24 lines before the chorus starts repeating and things. This is a very clever reference by Noah to the 24 books of the Odyssey. Let's go on to some of the literary devices. Noah is obviously a great scholar of literary techniques as well as of the classics. In the first line, you promised me I was more than all the miles combined. We have the alliteration and assonance of all of the soft M sounds there, which give you the love and warmth at the beginning. The whole thing is written in octameters, with 8 beats in each line, mixing iambs and trochees, and then from this onto the next line we get the panting aspiration by using the soft H sound, the hope of the repeated I have had heart halfway, moving to line 3 with the harder consonants of k, cause, exactly, exit, which exactly shows how Penelope's heart is starting, first of all, with the soft loving, then hope, and then being hardened. Penelope, of course, realizes that Odysseus is never going to be this great husband. He's always going to want the battle glory and the peregrinatory travelling and excitement. So while he's driving straight on, left their future to the right, this is also a play on words with straight, left, right, and miles, all words to do with travel. So Penelope and Noah are both there waiting for someone they doubt will return. Now we get onto the Anaphora, which of course is repetition of the start of a line, with and memories or something, and I am terrified, and I love Vermont, and I saw your mum, and it's half my fault. All of this repetition piling on top of each other. You've got the repetition, you've got Polysyndeton, which is the repetition of lots of linking words, the ands and the buts through this, which piles all of these reasons up on top of each other. This excessive use of prepositions, this Polysyndeton, is also reminding us of Maya Angelou's great lines of let the white people keep their lawns and their big houses and their big cars and their sarcasm and so on. And most of all, let them keep their whiteness. So he's harking back to other great writers, as well as Homer, of course. Now, the Odyssey was a bestseller for many centuries, just like Noah's, top of the pops. And they both have that theme of return, of nostros, as they was called in ancient Greek, from which we get the word nostalgia, looking back. The symbols of travel that we mentioned, tires and shoes. We're obviously looking at metonymy, where a small thing represents something much bigger. The tires represent the whole of travel, and the shoes represent Odysseus, and also Noah's lover. So, well done to Noah. I hope your lover came back, just as Odysseus did to Penelope. And well done for tying in this fabulous literary classic in creating a new literary classic, the song Stick Season. We'll see you again next week for our next edition of Professor Hogchoker's
Put your hands in mine, I promise you, you can fly.
We want to put Stick Season first, in this time when governments are putting their countries first before integrity, or morals, or justice, or intelligence, first before education, science, knowledge, or compassion, first before everything except the personal and insatiable greed of white billionaires. But Noah Kahan's Stick Season was the first song in Britain last year in that it was the absolute bestseller of any song.